A very warm good afternoon to all of us, all of you. And this is my pleasure really to have a set of fantastic friends and entrepreneurs who've made it, uh, who are leaders of their industry, whether it is comes to hospitality, whether it is apparels and textiles, and whether it is handicrafts and home decor. A very warm welcome all of you, and I would like to sort of introduce one by one. Atul Kapoor, I have with me. Atul's an entrepreneur, running a government security lab, security press, but at the same time, really, he's curated and built a heritage property in the shape of Alila Bishangarh, which is a beautiful fort restored to its old glory, and is a, I would say, a pinnacle for hospitality and for a heritage stay. I have with me Mr. Dilip Baid. Dilip is again 30 years in the industry, a leading entrepreneur who's made a big mark in home decor and hard goods category. Is a leading exporter. I don't even have a count of how many people he employs directly or indirectly. But is really, when it comes to the home decor and hard goods industry, he's the man to go to. I also have Ravi Podar with me. Ravi again, second generation entrepreneur Ravi, and has one of in the textile industry. He's a leading entrepreneur from Rajasthan, a leading garment exporter. Have been nominated for the highest export award umpteen times. So again, a warm welcome all of you. I want to make this a very enriching session for all of us. All the people who are watching our show today, they are watching with a lot of curiosity as to what gyan we can possibly extract out of you. Where are, how do you see post-COVID the opportunities come by, and from the land which is full of heritage and handicraft, how are we able to create a next generation of businesses, or how we are able to scale our present business to next levels? Where do you see the investment coming in? Where do you see a technology fitting in? So these are the important questions I'm going to get out of these people, perhaps for your benefit, for all the audience watching out here. And I would really want to make this interactive. So I would like, at the end of the talk, we would have a Q&A. But if you have any questions that you would want to ask them, if you could just feel free to put in those questions, and I'll be happy to take them at the end of the hour. So we'll begin this with Ravi. First, we all know that there is a sentiment going on. There is a wave right now going in favor of Rajasthan, India, and there is an anti-China sentiment in our industry, right? Global industry. People want to, possibly source more from us, and we see that wave coming in. How are you prepared? How do you see leveraging this important juncture? Because today China is the factory to the world, and it is our opportunity to step in and grab a part of that. For Atul, I would like to sort of tailor this question a bit differently. It's not just China versus India in your case. It's actually the entire world, or maybe like Thailand, for example, versus India. So I think Ravi, if you could begin with this, that'll be great.
Thank you, Manoj, for my introduction, and thanks for inviting me. Basically, United States has earmarked additional 25% import duty on China. India has just captured 6.4% of this opportunity, while the rest has gone to Vietnam and Bangladesh. So India has a huge opportunity to capture the market vacated by China. Brands like H&M, Lacoste has planned to divert business from China on immediate basis. Japan is giving incentive programs worth $221 million for companies moving production out of China. We have a free trade agreement with Japan, which is, they don't have to pay any duty if they import from India. So big companies like Uniqlo, Muji are willing to expand in India. They're looking for partners who are vertically integrated from fiber to fashion to fiber to fabric and garments. So there's a big scope and positive sentiments, and a lot of new inquiries have been coming from US and Japan markets now. The sector can be leveraged by opportunities further by reducing lead times, focusing on improving the productivity of workers, economies of scale, technology can help in reducing cost, improving the quality of products, maintaining the delivery schedules. These things will add on a lot of value to us, and we can get a lot of business from these countries. Take a big share from China. So the time is right to take this opportunity. Thank you, Manoj.
Atul, how would you answer to this? Because again, India is in the infancy, I would say, when it comes to potential. And maybe you could sort of inspire everyone watching how big the industry could be. Where are we now, and why more people need to step in?
Yeah. So, there's a big opportunity right now. The government itself has launched the Dekho Apna Desh program. So it's the time for indications. It's the time for Indians to see their own country, and a lot of them have already begun doing it. Last year, 10.9 million inbound tourists came in, but 26.9 million Indians went abroad.
Wow.
So 26 million is a huge figure. And if we can get even a small percentage of that to really see their own country, and these are the high paying ones, normally the ones who've gone abroad. So if they really go around a country, it's a great opportunity for us. Last year we had 2,322 million, that's 23 crore domestic tourists. But that figure can go up substantially this year. We're already seeing a positive sentiment, even at Alila Fort Bishangarh. This winter, we've started getting people in. A lot of people now want to travel. The only opportunity that needs to be harnessed here is at remote locations that are drivable distance. So how can you make the guests feel safe is important. So as much as possible, hoteliers and restaurateurs are trying to get you into open spaces, trying to provide sufficient distance so that you feel safe. And besides that, they're setting up tents. And if you go down to various places all around Rajasthan, there's tented camps that are already existing. Those are now doing booming business. The small boutique hotels are suddenly, they were always doing fairly well for themselves, but they had foreign tourists, and now a lot of Indians are coming. So they're having a reasonably good winter, I would say. And what we can also do now is create more rural centers. So, people can set up tents in remote parts of Rajasthan, which everyone wants to travel to, but hasn't really ever gone. But if a reasonably healthy, good place is set up, people are very keen to go there. This is also the time to see the various clusters that are kind of coming up. Like if you go to Jodhpur, it's got its own set of hotels. If you go to Udaipur, it's got a different charm, the Mewar culture there. If you go to Bikaner, there are some new hotels that have come up. Shekhawati area is always a popular place. But besides that, a lot of other standalone properties exist, and it's a perfect time for you to find these properties and go out to these properties because they are coming up with newer experiences to give you interesting vacations this winter.
Dilip, what would you like to say, with regards to I would say the India wave. Dilip, you are on mute. Dilip, you are on mute.
Hello to everyone, to all the listeners here. I fully agree with what Ravi has said, how we can leverage this anti-China sentiment. But apart from, there is one more thing which I would like to focus upon here, the India market. And especially in our industry, we call it as a sunshine industry. I mean, and again, here in India, we also see a bit of an anti-China sentiment happening. And especially if you see on the furniture market, we have seen of late government has put restrictions on furniture import from China, which was mostly serving the Indian market now. But I see a great opportunity now within India even. I mean, we are hardly anywhere because most of the requirement was serviced by China or some countries like Vietnam or Indonesia like. But India is now in a great position to, I mean, harness all their, I mean, abilities, capabilities, and take up this industry forward like.
Awesome. So you think of a make in India, not just for the West, but also for India as well, domestic market, is a big thing, right?
It's a big thing. I mean, of course, we need to do. I mean, have to put all our things right. I mean, all the required parameters and all have to be looked into, which we'll discuss during the talk. But yes, India has a great potential now.
So, I think everyone's sort of, I would say in this hour would be curious because you all have been very prudent investors and invested in the right business at the right time and, built a fabulous opportunity, not just for yourself, but for your all stakeholders, your employees, and, all have a thriving business. I would like to sort of get a view of, for all the perspective, all the potential investors watching, entrepreneurs watching, startups watching us. Where do you see the next investment opportunity? Where are you personally betting in? What sector, what segment? How could they as well leverage investment in the right direction at this point of time for the next big thing? Ravi.
Yeah, we in Rajasthan have a well-developed garment manufacturing industry.
Mm-hmm.
We have around 300 active companies, active exporters, exporting worth $100 million US. Besides that, $350 million, garments we are doing for the domestic market. And we are the largest Indian ethnic garment manufacturing hub for domestic market. So India is one of the only countries which has indigenous raw material starting from fiber to fabric, trims and packing materials. We specialize in, block printing, tie and dyes, hand screen. Brands like Anoki and Fab India, leverage the art to build globally competitive fashion business. Rajasthan is a big pool of skilled manpower. We have world-class garment designing institutes like NIFT, Pearl Academy, manufacturing training institutes in Rajasthan. Rajasthan borders are also, shared with Haryana and Delhi. Hence, location-wise, we are also well connected. There's no pollution industry in Rajasthan, and it's climatically very comfortable. We have special economic zones also for promotion of exports. So I feel that we have an ideal location, and there's a lot of possibility of people coming down to Rajasthan. We are close to Delhi, half an hour flight from Delhi to Jaipur. So, we just, I think it's a good chance to come to Rajasthan. Thank you.
Atul, how would you, where are you putting in the money? You're on mute.
Yeah, thanks, Manoj. Well, there's, whenever there's an adversity of any kind, it's the best opportunity. The sad part of it is that we always invest when everything is right on top. And when things go south, we really don't look. But this is the best time to get into the hospitality industry. Banks and financial institutions notwithstanding. Rajasthan is India's largest state and probably the most beautiful state. We've got everything from the hills to the lakes to the desert to old palaces and forts. There's a lot of history. So there's a lot of crafts. Some of it is already being spoken about by my fellow speakers here. So you put all this together and you realize that there's so much that can be done. I mean, Jaipur gets 4 million visitors in a year. Paris gets 32 million, London probably an equal amount. So there's a lot of scope to increase that. Now, Now, what is it that we are lacking here? Instead of just looking only at the government or looking for PPP, we as entrepreneurs can do a lot. How do we make this an entertainment center, for example? At the macro level, I can think that, anyone who wants to come to India does land up at Jaipur, or even an Indian does have Jaipur or Rajasthan on his bucket list. So why can't we create a Disney park here, or Universal Studios? There's Kingdom of Dreams that came up at Gurgaon. Now imagine what viewership it could have had that Kingdom of Dreams been in Jaipur. A film city. There's huge, at the macro level, there are some amazing things that can be done. It should come up as a convention center, as a huge convention center. Around Phuket Airport, they're now constructing about 800 hotel rooms so that they can make a huge investment center. We should be thinking about doing similar things ourselves and making Jaipur a big place for the MICE segment, for the meetings. And in addition to that, at a micro level also, if you see, there are small remote locations that everyone is now seeking to get to, away from the madding crowd, away from all the pollution, see the stars. At Bishangar, we've created one such location, but there's hundreds of them all over Rajasthan, which are within drivable distance, where you can either come for a safari in and around Savai Madhopur, you can come for crafts, you can go down to Jodhpur, you can go down to the desert in Jaisalmer. An amazing amount of hotels coming up. So tented hotels is in the middle of nowhere is another great investment opportunity that can move from place to place. You build your own, like Aman builds his Aman Junkies. You can build your own junkies to support you, and wherever you set it up around the state, they can come and visit you over the weekends. As we are now trying to cut down costs to make it more profitable and viable, there are a lot of opportunities in outsourcing of services. So if a certain hub of hotels comes up, for example, outside Jaipur, on the Delhi road, that area from Kukus to Achrol, there's a lot of hotels coming up and a lot more coming up still. Now, various wedding lawns have come up. So, people out of Delhi, caterers, people doing weddings, come set up things here. Set up a complete lawn of your own where you provide an excellent catering service along with it, so that along with those weddings, people can have the option of maybe doing one event at your place. And this process has already begun, but there's a lot more that can be done. If you look at Delhi's Chhatarpur farms and all that area, there's so many restrictions now there for marriages. We don't have much the same restrictions here, and Jaipur is a wonderful place to get married in, and everyone's loving it. It's such a popular marriage destination. So take it to another level. You can do a lot of that. Besides other outsourcing services, like let's say laundry, so many hotels don't have to set up their own laundry. They can do away with the laundry services, and one person provides laundry services to the entire lot. Similarly, there are a lot of other supplies that can be in both in terms of services. You can provide housekeeping services to smaller hotels, so they can just concentrate on their basic core competency and leave these things to a centralized agency to do. The city hotels, there are opportunities now to convert them into apartment complexes, for long stay corporate guests. Make small kitchenettes or something there, give floors as apartment complexes. Organic foods is another big story. As we are going into the health world, we now find more and more people want to eat healthy. So if you can provide organic food, we've got 3 organic farms at Alila Fort Bishangar, but not everyone has the space to do that. So if you don't have the space to do it, if someone is providing that as a service and it's coming to you from a reliable source, it's something which everyone would be very eager to take up. So get to the villages, get to remote locations, get to the cities. There are an insane number of opportunities. Bring up the restaurants and the hotels, have them, provide food outside. to people at their homes, since if they don't want to really come in. So restaurants should get linked to the various food delivery platforms like Swiggy, and provide that service at home. In fact, we ourselves had a chef from a hotel come and cook, on one of our birthdays, and they're providing that service where they'll come and do a live teppanyaki for you at home. So there are interesting things that are already happening, but this can be taken to another level. There's an insane amount of investment opportunities. This is the right time to get into hospitality.
Awesome. And where is the sweet spot that you find, Dilip? As per Atul, we could possibly be heading towards making Rajasthan a little bit like Las Vegas, where there are a zillion rooms and a thriving economy. Where do you see potential investments for startups, for investors? Because those are the people watching us today, and really want to understand from your experience and wisdom, where do you see the light?
Okay, I will relate it with the sweet spot where I am seeing and where I am investing now. We are getting into furniture industry now. I mean, we are already there, but we are expanding there. And the reason why I'm saying this, there are two things which I'm investing. One is furniture. And of course, second is the brand building. I'll come to brand building later. I'll come to furniture. So the Indian furniture, apart from the export furniture, our Indian share in global export is just 2%. China takes about 40% of the global market share of furniture, just furniture. And Indian share is just, as I said, 2%. And the Indian market, again, as I earlier said, the Indian domestic market is growing at a CAGR of 13% annually. So there's a huge potential here. And secondly, the reason why I choose furniture, Rajasthan is becoming a cluster of furniture when you compare it with an India. Like all of you must have heard Jodhpur, Jaipur are the places where lots of furniture manufacturers have come. Maybe they are in a little unorganized sector. They are MSMEs, but there is a great potential to invest into furniture sector, both for international and domestic market. Now, the second where I'm investing myself is, which we have already started, is a brand building. Again, for India, we have started with India because we hardly have any brand going out of India internationally. So we have just started, just 2 years back, this brand called Elementary. We have opened our retail stores and we are e-commerce, we are there on the marketplaces and all. And very soon we'll be going international. I see again, there is tremendous potential in investing and creating a brand line, because this sector has to be organized. It has majorly it is into unorganized sector. If it is organized into a brand, then that's why again I repeat for saying we all call it this as a sunshine industry, because the income levels in India are rising. And now with this, again, there's a new scope which has come, is the work from home culture. You need to design for work from home even. So this is where I see where I would be investing. But as a suggestion for others, I would say it's not only furniture, the home decor, even the outdoor, even the kitchen categories have tremendous potential to grow out of India. Because we have the entire ecosystem in India, and particularly in Rajasthan, you have the craft available in India. There are 33 districts in Rajasthan, out of which 27 districts have about more than 17 to 18 crafts. They have been following traditionally. The craftsmanship is in their DNA. So you have the skill available here. It requires a little bit of upskilling here. The whole environment here in Rajasthan is very friendly for industrialization. You have, and of course, needless to say, the availability of land and the policies and all. So all in all, this sector has got good potential in India and particularly in Rajasthan. This is what I would suggest.
Awesome. So I think, I hope the people who are listening to us, they can see all of us, beaming with excitement and looking at the opportunities, whether it is hospitality, whether it is the apparel, that Ravi talked about, and Dilip, you talked about furniture and hard goods and home decor. I think together, I believe, if I may sum it, if this ecosystem develops, if this cluster develops as such, the heritage and hospitality, they're all tied together. And if this develops, everybody would have an equal opportunity to grow, and create a thriving business out of this. So, again, which basically leads me to my next question, which is regarding technology and high technology. Considering that we are uh, all about artistry, we are about heritage, we are about handicraft, we are about that Atithi Devo Bhava. Do you see a role of technology and high technology coming in? Because there are lots of technology entrepreneurs as well sitting with us at TIE Forum. They could be wonderful partners in our growth. Right from AI, machine learning, computer vision, all sorts of technologies out there. I mean, even simplest of the ERPs, right? Could make a difference. And where do you see in your industry technology coming in and making a big difference? How can, or where would you want more help? Where do you see the industry, your industry, more help in terms of high tech? Ravi.
Yeah, technology will be the most important in improving the productivity and competitiveness of garment industry. Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, all have the potential to transform the industry. 3D fitting and pattern CAD technology can drive the shift towards the mass customization, creating virtually infinite amount of varieties fitting in the individual needs. Sampling is the major cost burden for apparel industry. Multiple samples also add up courier cost and delivery times. 3D printing technology can massively reduce sales conversion times, resulting in faster and more orders. So it's a very important tool in case, the buyers can give approval then and there, they can print then and there, and take advantage of the garment physical sample as it is. Digital technologies and trade market rates can not only open up new markets for Rajasthan exporters, but also lower trade cost and wastages can be eliminated. Factory floors can see an efficiency increase of 45% to 70% in the manufacturing assembly if we adopt assembly line systems integrated with LED screens on production floor, barcoding the movement of goods. Adopting such technologies along with lean manufacturing principles, we can take an efficiency levels and cost closer to that of Chinese manufacturers.
So yeah, I mean, so definitely, I mean, you've pointed a fair bit of usage of technology that could make a big difference in your industry, Ravi. Atul, in hospitality, where do you see technology coming in? I know you're more about the softer aspects of the business, and you are a purist there, I would say. But yet, we know that there is no business that can't benefit from technology. Where do you see yours shaping up, and how?
Yeah, so I have a big difference of opinion always with my son on this. I believe that at the end of the day, the human touch is very important for hospitality. In fact, we were just discussing that a smile is so important at our hotel. We were kind of discussing that, and with the mask, how do you indicate the smile? It's so important to, with hand gestures and with your eyes, indicate the same level of warmth as you used to do earlier with a smile. So, it is things like this that have to be gone into. So I asked my son that, what do you think we should be doing? And I'm just going to read out what he said. So that's a part of technology from a youngster. Imagine you're on a deserted place, in the sand dunes of Rajasthan. No staff for service, no cooks to cook, no housekeepers to clean. It's just you and your partner, or so it seems. The place is rigged with invisible sensors and is monitored by a team located remotely. There is housekeeping done via cleaning bots, automated bed sheets and laundry, and machine cooked fresh food, automated vehicles taking you around. this might sound fanciful, but the true nature of brilliance in hospitality is to know that everything is working without you even being there. And there is nothing better to do a repeated task successfully 100% again than a machine. So that's one take on what a hotel could be, and maybe Gen Y and Gen Z demand this. You know, I mean, in business hotels, like if I'm visiting one of the metros, I want to get to my room quickest, right? I don't want to be standing in front of the front office. So I just want, in the US and everywhere, it happens a lot more. In India, you still have to go to the front office. But otherwise, you know, with your mobiles in your pocket, your credit cards, everything is there. So you should just be able to walk in straight into your room without meeting anyone. Technology can help that. But basically what technology also does is it enables you to take control of your own vacation. You know, why should I be dependent? Why should I come to Jaipur and be dependent on a taxi driver to tell me, or he takes me to certain places that he thinks right? I've done my own research earlier. I get my, you know, Uber cabs or whatever, and I go wherever I want to. Similarly, the places to visit, you know, you've done your own research on the various platforms that are available, and you know exactly where you have to go, all timings, everything is there. You can buy your tickets, you know, everything is seamlessly done. You even got your own headphones that can take you around that particular city palace or Jantar Mantar or any of the other places that you have. You know, you just switch it on, and in an interactive way, you're seeing the place, and with a very nice commentary going on, and you're not dependent on anyone to do that for you. Sound and light shows, you know, museums, again, similar things. You know, I mean, these things are beautifully done. They can also be created online to generate interest, you know, for a destination as a whole. You know, so Udaipur's got its own show that's there, and that goes as a link for anyone wanting to see as to the things that you can actually come here and do, right? Every hotel doesn't have to get involved in trying to create their own version of the things you can do in Udaipur or in Jaipur or in Jodhpur or wherever. You know, so destination management being done centrally, using technology where people can actually get a feel of it and then go and see the real thing. There are so many platforms that have come up, like OTAs and TripAdvisor and Zomato and everything. You know, these are very large platforms that have come up, and they have their pluses, and probably are essential to be in the ecosystem today. But can you rethink these? I mean, MakeMyTrip.com, one of the Thai members, did come up despite Booking.com and everything else being there, the big boys. So today you can say Make My Trip is there, but let me build something that's a little more differentiated, that's a little more specialized, that speaks about bespoke places, that speaks about experiential hospitality, try and offer some small services within that particular thing, which will be more suited for, let's say, smaller hotels, and create an OTA of your own, create a Zomato that's not charging so much of money, localize it to certain areas, and how the areas can all be linked up. Like if you have to give delivery from a restaurant within a 5-kilometer radius, your costs are going to be a lot lesser. So you can create these sort of platforms. If you're going into a restaurant, you should be able to get inside a restaurant and walk out of there without the need of placing an order or paying for anything. Your phone is in your pocket, right? You can pre-order. You can see the menu. You can pre-order. You walk in there with your family or friends, sit down. The food will automatically come in a certain time, which you can define earlier using technology. That food comes, to consume that food. So the only people you really need there are the servers, who just come and place that food in front of you. You have your food, you get up and you walk off. It's automatically paid for, right? I mean, these things can be done. Entertainment centers, of course, like I mentioned earlier, which is a great requires a lot of technology, and we should really seriously talk about creating hubs and clusters using entertainment centers in a big way. Technology can also help us marry the various craftsmen that are needed for a particular, like for example, most of the hotels in Rajasthan have some kind of music that they want. Now, you know, they create their own, they've got their own people coming every evening and doing a certain amount of music. But what if this was all centralized and you had a Kawal singer, and you had a Sufi singer, and you had the Manganiyars, and you had the puppet dance and everything? It's all centralized services, and you're able to then say, okay, Monday I'm sending it to so hotel A, on Tuesday he's going to hotel B, on Wednesday he's going to hotel C, and people can you know, figure out how they want to do this. We can also create soft brands. So like you have heritage hotels that are scattered around, but they are all individually trying to brand themselves. What if we were to create a brand, you know, the Royal Heritage of Rajasthan or something like that. Furniture is also a big thing. Like furniture, we go to China to buy hotel furniture, but we were conscious about it and we wanted to do it out of Jodhpur to reduce our carbon footprint. But imagine if you had those setups of hotels in Jodhpur where you can come. You want a 2-star, here's your setup. You want a 3-star, here's your setup, and you can come and pick your own, you know, furniture that you need. So these are some of the ways why technology can be used. The list is endless. I mean, don't even talk about how artificial intelligence can get used in a big way.
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
Profiling, for guest profiling, and giving them what they really want.
Absolutely. In your case, I guess technology is more behind the scenes. You still want this human interface, you know, for that experience. But there is technology behind the scenes to empower everything. You know, just like you rightly said, from booking engines to you know, curation of experiences, you know, for the consumer, you know, for to discover. I think there is still a lot of scope for technology to come in and make that consumer experience better. Dilip, I mean, you're coming in from traditional industry, and you mentioned furniture, which is a very, very competitive industry. And true, you know, if we have to come up and become a credible alternative to China, we really need to be, you know, much more than just skill and artistry. Where are you feeling the opportunity for technology to step in and drive the game?
India
Sorry,
was,
yeah.
can't hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Can you? If we have to leverage this opportunity, I mean, China versus India, important thing is we'll have to, I mean, increase our productivity. And to increase our productivity, technology is a must now. I mean, so all of us have to really approach the entire investment which we want to make from a industry 4.0 perspective. Today, the industry is, I think, somewhere not even 2.0 line. But we'll have to definitely approach from 4.0. I won't say that everything would be relevant for a craft industry, but if the mindset is from industry 4.0, you will definitely increase your productivity. You will increase your supply chain management. You will minimize your cost, which comes with productivity and all. That's what I see technology. I mean, we can go into detail and all. Other thing, technology is also needed for your marketing, for your sales these days. Especially now we have seen after this COVID thing, there are no visits. Buyers are not visiting you. You'll have to bring in technology there to create your virtual showrooms, install your 3D cameras and make it as real as possible. So there is no denial of technology anywhere these days. But having said that, in an industry, I would put a caution. Technology has to be taken to extent where it is enhancing the utility part. You should not kill your aesthetics, the niche which you have in India, by using machinery or technology. That should remain your core strength. I mean, as I quote an example, how you can blend technology and handcrafted is. Suppose you are making a piece of furniture. I mean, the entire utility part, So if it's again, I was quoting earlier this example, if it's a chest of drawers, when you are opening drawers, the functionality, you should bring all the automation you can bring there, all the technology you can bring for the functionality now. I mean, if you have to test your drawer to open for 20,000 times in a life cycle, that's where you should bring in all your automation and technology there. But for the looks, for the aesthetics, you still need to keep your craftsmanship there. You'll have to have your hand carving there, your hand painting there, hand finishing there and all. If you are able to create this blend, and this is where we should be heading, the entire industry should be heading for, you are poised to grow now. So this is where I would say that my take, apart from what Atul has said and Ravi has said, I fully agree with him. Technology intervention of technology is needed everywhere in our day-to-day life. But this is where, in a nutshell, I see the technology intervention in our industry, particularly.
So great. I mean, I'm glad we all agree in our industries where it's really based on the softer aspects of, we are known for that softer aspect. We're all thinking alike, and we do recognize the growing need for technology. We are sensitive to the fact that, we are, because of the artistry of it. We are, our businesses thrive because of the human interface of it. And I think this is where an important blend, I would say, is really, really important. Now, when we talk about blend, one important field that we must talk about and sensitize, everyone watching us, is the growing need for sustainability and inclusive growth. We as leaders of our respective industries, I believe have a bigger role to play. And I think it's been expressed by our buyers, where it is the consumers or our B2B cases, that a more inclusive growth is important, sustainability is important. Where are the challenges and where is the industry growing? Ravi, in your segment, how can we ensure a better, I would say, better growth for our employees, create more opportunities for employment, and have also be more responsible towards the planet? Ravi.
Garment sector is the largest employment provider after agriculture. Garment sector employs something around 12.9 million workers, both for export as well as domestic market. At this time when India is passing through a very tough time, a crisis moment, garment sector can be a valuable contributor for nation building. Even a small factory doing a turnover of $1 million will employ not less than 1,200 people, directly or indirectly. So apparel sector, more jobs per unit as compared to any other sector. So apparel sector provides employment to the semi-skilled, migratory, rural, as well as marginalized workers. So we are giving employment to all lower grade, rural people. So it's very important. However, it's a women-friendly sector where 55% workforce is women. Majority of them are from the weaker section and rural hometowns. With just 30 days of training, employment can be given in a garment factory. So garment sector provides huge value to other sectors down the funnel also. For example, our biggest raw material is cotton, which is sourced from Indian farmers directly. So giving employment to farmers. Our majority supply chain and sources is based in India. As a result, we have less dependency on imports, boosting local suppliers and MSMEs. Bangladesh is a very good example for leveraging garment industry to boost growth. Garments contribute more than 10% of Bangladesh GDP, and 3 million workers are working there. In India, garment is just 2% of India GDP, showing we have huge room to grow and become a big employment generators. So I think it's a lot of area room where we can grow in garment sector.
What about sustainability, Ravi? Briefly, and I, at this point of time, I would also want the audience, if they have any questions, to start to write, because we have limited time left. So if you have any questions as well, please do get them on now. But Ravi, sustainability, anything?
Basically, if you have to survive, you have to bring technology, do branding, go overseas instead of just looking about Indian market. and grow overseas. Look for partners who are supporting us in their own country, bring them down to India, have collaborations, joint ventures. That is how this industry can grow. And instead of looking just in domestic market, you really have to go overseas.
Atul, what's your perspective?
Yeah, hospitality industry as such is one of the largest, in terms of giving employment potential to people, because basically it is a people's industry. I mean, look at the hotels and restaurants, the number of people that are really needed for each of them, back of the house and front of the house. I mean, each room that is created, it gives direct employment to 1.6 to 2.5 people, depending on the level of the hotel, and 3 to 3.5 people indirectly. But the constituting effect is actually a lot more than that. If you add the experiences that we've now started giving, like, we're located in a rural place. So I'll just give you an example of some of the things. Someone has also asked, what are some of the innovations that you've done during this pandemic breakdown opportunity? I'll take this opportunity to answer what we have done. So wherever there was a guest interaction with other people in the village, which we had a lot of, we've had to modify that slightly. So we've created a nice forgotten trail where you get into a gypsy and go down the riverbed into where the earlier villages used to be. You go right through the river grass and everything. You create a nice experience for yourself. And there's just that one driver there who's been tested. So you don't have too much interaction. Earlier, what we were doing probably more was taking them for a walk through the village, interacting with villagers, getting into their huts, and having a cup of tea maybe with them, even a meal, if you've decided in advance, which we ensure the hygiene of. So those things have got replaced by things like getting out into the fields and taking a tractor ride, maybe plowing a field. Right now is the time when the winter crop is getting sown. A good time to just get in and start plowing fields for yourself. Besides that, we've also added visiting a number of craftsmen, like a potter, so you can see it from the distance. You can go to a carpet weaver's place and see all of that. I mean, this whole community it's very important for us to empathize, to understand where they come from, to understand that carpet that lies, in your drawing room, in your city. Think about the number of months it took so many people to really weave it together and to really understand that. And next time you'll appreciate the carpet a lot more. So we like to take people to all these sort of locations. We like that whole community to come up. We've started employing more and more people from within that area. We have increased one organic farm because we're now seeing that people like to go and sit out. We've created more open air spaces. We already had over 10 spaces that you could sit and eat in the open. We've created even more because now every family wants to be by themselves somewhere. So we've created even more spaces that you can come up and go to. We've created weddings, which was a different kind of a wedding where you can actually go and have a mehndi in a mustard field. We've taken farms from our villagers around us that you give it. They also earn a little bit of money in the process. You have a very unique kind of a wedding that is taking place where you don't have to do so much of decor because that involves a lot of people. That whole community sort of comes up. Along with sustainability, I say more and more we should be very conscious of the carbon footprint that we have in the creation of hotels. Try and source materials locally, not only for building it, but even for running it subsequently. Fresh vegetables, fresh everything coming to you from nearby, brings up that community nearby and leads to your sustainability and leads to a better name for you.
Awesome, Atul. You missed the point, but I should let everyone know for the sake, because you've just walked the talk as well. I would like to bring up the matter of the sustainable wedding that you did for your son. where everything was sourced locally, and the decor was all part of, even flowers were picked up from the fields nearby. So again, it was really, really inspiration. You've been an epitome of how you've tried to convert a hotel stay to an experience, a real Rajasthani experience, and I'm glad you are able to inspire more generations, future generations to come forward, and also investors to come forward in this segment. Dilip, I know this is a very, very important aspect for you as well, for manufacturing, hardcore manufacturing, sustainable practices, and inclusive growth. Please educate us on what your effort is in this direction.
So first thing what we focus is the sustainability of the craft itself. So we indulge into a lot of skilling and upskilling also, which is very important for the sustainability of the craft itself. Then, of course, needless to say, since we are into handicraft industry, every crore of rupees revenue generated, it translates into employment to hundreds of people, in front end, and then in the back end line. Likewise, the materials all being used, that's also, they're all sustainable materials, all locally available material, and most of them can be recycled. For example, we do paper mache, which is made from entirely recycled, paper and clay and all those things, and all that's done like. Very important for sustainability is also making quality product. If you are making good quality product, the wastage is less, and that's where we focus on. So what happens is, if you're using a ceramic plate, if it's a good quality ceramic plate, if it's able to last for a longer time, you've already saved on your footprint line. So this is where we all focus on sustainability. And of course, the growth which comes from the craft sector is, it's not geographically binding, because every district in Rajasthan, as I say, or every state in India has craft in them. You can keep growing there and bring employment to men and women on those pockets.
Awesome. I think this was again very, very insightful, Dilip. The way you are sort of leveraging in your industry the skill set of not just a city or a where a particular factory is, but taking your factories to the villages and leveraging the craftsmanship and the and I believe again a true example of inclusive growth, because we really, I feel the next generation of entrepreneurs should create opportunities not just limited to the cities, but take it outside. So I think in this sense, you've been a great example for all of us here. So again, which brings us nearly to the end of this session. I believe we have one question that came up.
Yeah. So someone has said congratulations, and is the Rajasthan government doing enough to promote your wonderful resort property, which is needed to make it a tourist spot? Thanks for the compliment. But I'd say the government should generically promote the whole area. Promote everything. Promote various spots all over Rajasthan. Promote our arts and crafts, and the government should go out and say, come to Rajasthan. In its various ways. It shouldn't get involved with promoting individual properties. That has its own problems. Individual property should be left free to do that on their own. And that's what we shouldn't be looking at the government for everything. We shouldn't be saying that infrastructure doesn't exist. The problems are what they are, and we keep lobbying and trying to do what we can to get the government on board to promote public-private partnerships. But we as entrepreneurs owe it to ourselves and to our employees that we go out and do what we can using our own resources. All the Thai, members that are watching this, each one of them is a creator, and that's what we need to do. We need to keep creating. We got to stop investing and start creating a lot more. That's the way forward.
So I think, yeah. So again, Atul, thanks a lot, and thank you all of you for being here and really talking about the most important aspects of our growth potential in Rajasthan, from artistry and from heritage, how we are able to scale up and how we are able to really attract more investment as well into Rajasthan. You outlined the areas very well, whether it is technology, whether it is money coming in, opportunities for startups. I think we talked about a little bit of everything given the limited time we had. And I really want to thank you, all of you, for coming up with an open mind, open heart, and enriching all of us. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Yeah, we just, I'd like to say Khama Gani, as they say in Rajasthan, or the English version of it, come again, honey.
Love that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.